Hello everyone, Namaste. This is Ajitesh and I'm the founder CEO of ASBL. I'm really excited to host you all to Reality of Tomorrow conference Broadway version. So thank you all for coming and let's get started. So before we get started, I always like to put forward the agenda so that gives us a clear view of how this conversation is going to happen and sort of give a direction in which we're going. So firstly, I thought I'll just cover briefly the entire location aspect of Broadway, right? Where this is located, and mainly from the perspective of what's happening in micro market. Because real estate, as we all know, location plays a very vital, it's a vital parameter in one's purchase decision. So I'll just give you a brief of what's happening in the neighborhood. Then I'll get going to my most favorite topic, the entire audience research, and which translated into the product research and how the product design has evolved out of that product research. Then I'll talk about the arrival experience and the entire logistics and a little bit about the basement plans and things like that. Then I'll quickly cover the Clubhouse aspect, and then we can get move into the Q&A section where you can ask questions live and I'll be answering. So let's jump straight into our conversation. So this is how and where Broadway is located, right? As you can see, this is just like a 2D map. It's right beside Loft, right in the heart of financial district, right? So we have shot 2 videos, like how to arrive at the site from the Gachibowli junction, and then how to arrive at the site from the ISB junction. So let me play these 2 videos so that you'll get a context of how to come to the site from each of these prominent landmarks, right? So this is a video of how one can come to the site from the Gachibowli junction. It's recently shot by us. Ashoka Liviano was my first project. So this is a video of how you're going to come to the site from the Gachibowli junction. Now let me play the video of how you can come to the site from the ISB junction, or the IIIT junction, what we call. right? As you can see, so these are the two key, I would say, landmarks from where you can come to Broadway side. And as you can briefly see, even in the videos, this is the new Manhattan of our city, Hyderabad. A lot of tall buildings are coming. So yeah, so that's how this neighborhood is looking currently. I hope it's it's going to dynamically transform over the next decade. Right, so let me give you a perspective of what's happening in this neighborhood, mainly from a commercial office leasing standpoint. As all of us know, that job generation is a very, very important aspect which has a spillover into real estate. Right, so these are some of the leases which have been signed off lately in the last 2 to 3 quarters. TCS has leased close to 1 million square feet. Again, to put it in perspective, 1 million square feet means 10,000 jobs. How these office leasing happens is for every 1 employee, they require 100 square feet of space. So 10 lakh square feet matlab 10,000 employees are going to be working in the TCS center there. And then a press statement has recently come. Costco, which is a major American retailing giant, they are opening their GCC. Approximately, they're starting with 1,000 people workforce. And another, all of us know McDonald's, a global food chain. They are setting up their GCC with 2,000 employees. So this is what is happening in in this neighborhood from a leasing standpoint. And broadly, if you look at the neighborhood more from a 1 year perspective, this is what has been happening. In fact, I've recently also come to my knowledge that the building, on the Spectra 100 feet road, Kalyani IT Park, in that also there's good amount of leasing which has happened, almost 25%. So we are expecting a lot more leasing now to happen in this entire area. So just to again give you a broad perspective, you have again all the major FANG companies, Google, Microsoft, Apple, Qualcomm, Gap, Amgen, and all of that. So just to give you a perspective of what's happening in this neighborhood. Right, and another next critical aspect of this neighborhood from a transportation standpoint, right? Again, see, one is the entire aspect of leasing, which will generate jobs. Next important thing in real estate, which will impact entire neighborhoods, is got to do with entire road networks and your transportation network, high-speed rail corridors like metro rails and all of that, which is which will greatly enhance the logistics of the area. So government has recently, there is a phase 2 also coming up, which will connect from KPHB to financial district. So these are the two key updates I thought I'll share with you guys. And so now let's get into my most favorite aspect of the entire presentation. And see, basically in this, I would be covering about what is the research we have done before we started designing Broadway project, what is the audience research, and how that translated into product design. Right, so before we got started, again, because we operate in this neighborhood, we had good amount of data from all our past projects, and we did again fresh interviews and focus group studies with new set of audience. So broadly, if I may say, this is what has come up at a macro level of for whom the Broadway project is majorly focused towards. So when we did research, the primary principal age group is around 35 to 45 years. So these are mostly your first-time home buyers, people who are buying their first home, right? And approximately family sizes are in the range of 3 to 5. In some cases, we are seeing that even the parents of the owners are staying with them. And another, these are the demographic things. If you look on the right side, that is more from a behavioral standpoint. At a macro level, what we could understand is 73% of our households for whom this project is designed, like whom we surveyed, are double income households. So one key trait of double income household is both the husband and the wife, both are working professionals. So they would need all the support from their daily utilities and all of that. So your amenity design and your product design has to cater to those needs. And then 64% of them are parents where the kids are in the age of 0 to 7 years, so they're like early parents. That's again a key demographic for us. And when we did research, 82% of our customers have mentioned that they are used to hybrid work. So I will, so basis of this macro understanding, we designed something called the lifestyle grid. Okay, so what does this demographic data, behavioral data, again there's a lot more data than what we have published here, and we created something called the lifestyle grid, in which we broadly categorize that into 5 zones. As you can see, living space, which has got considerably to do with your floor plans, your tower plans, how you're going to consume the space, what you're purchasing. Then we went into the concept of practical luxury. This is where I was saying the research of us knowing that most of our customers are double income households, so your daily utilities have to be within your reach to save up on time and to create convenience. And then now all of us know in this fast-paced life, social life is again very, very important, and how that has changed from over the period of years. So social life, and then everything got to do with your fitness aspects, and then again something very important, again cited earlier also, 64% are early parents. So everything got to do with childcare. So we started coining this term as the lifestyle grid. So let me delve into the first aspect of the lifestyle grid, the living space. That is, your entire tower plans, and what was the thought process behind designing these spaces. So when we were doing research, right, around the living spaces, the thing which, the keyword which kept buzzing between all our customers is privacy. So what we got an understanding that, okay, once people come to the tower level, that is, into the corridors, after the lift lobby and all lobbies and lift lobbies and all of that, privacy became their most important aspect. And we want to see how we could deliver on that entire, feature requirement of privacy. So privacy became the center stage for us to design most of the floor plan and tower plans. So some of the key things what we have realized, what we have done through the researches. Okay, so for most of the flats, almost 2/3 of that, we could come up with something called foyer entrance. So it's like a exclusive separate entrance which steps aside from the corridor. Again, greatly enhancing the arrival experience of your particular unit, and at the same time, it sort of addresses the privacy quotient, right? So the minute you open the door, you have like a chota sa angan types, what we used to have in when we used to have like independent houses. So to bring in that aspect. So the foyer-based entrance was something which we could come up with as a product feature at the tower plan. And again, hugely, we got very positive feedback on this. And next thing, again, to address on the privacy side has been the no opposite main doors. Again, this is something which a lot of, when we were doing research, our customers were sort of, I've cited this as a requirement and sort of a good to have feature, right? So again, we strived hard to design that, because that no main door looks into the other apartment. So you open the door, so you can keep the main door open, and your flat would be much more well ventilated, and it's sort of, you can feel, I mean, by even keeping the door open, you will not really lose the element of privacy. So at the tower plan level, the two key things what we focused in Broadway project has been the foyer based entrance, and then the entire no opposite main doors. Then we went to the next key aspect, where people, when we're talking at a floor plan level, at a unit plan level, right? So what are the key things which came up, during our focus group studies and our one-on-one interviews? These keywords sort of emerged: lighting, ventilation, carpet area. And another aspect, let me share a story also. So when most of our customers, again, if you look at the demographic and behavioral data, have traveled world over. Most of them are working in the IT sector, right? And they have traveled abroad internationally. So when we were doing a sort of a research, one of our question was, okay, what is a good building for you? As simple as that. Like, what is your aspiration? And then we had like A/B testing, like we showed multiple images, and across various people, when we ran that experiment, many people picked buildings which were tall and had a glass facade, right? So that was something which they told was their aspiration. And in fact, even one of the question was, which is your most favorite city? The three cities which came up were New York, Singapore, and London. And what is it that you like about it when we asked that question? So people were telling, okay, I like the tall buildings, glass facade, which looks sleek and tall, right? So that's when we sort of, okay, if this is an aspiration what our customers have, then let's plan for that. How can we deliver on that? That's how the entire concept of curtain wall came. Now, okay, curtain wall is a good to have feature which sort of adds to the aspiration of people, right? Adds to the aspiration of our customers. But then does it have any other functional implication? See, one is the aesthetics, right? So you look, it's going to look good, definitely that's a very, very important thing. But what we have realized in our research is there's a lot of utility, a lot of functional aspect also which curtain walls bring in. One, like the top three to start with, is what mentioned here, is that, see, again, when we were again doing past research, is that people wanted, okay, they loved our concept of outdoor living, which had a very big balcony, but they were like, can we maximize the carpet area? Yes, naturally. So what we realized is, okay, some of our projects which we have handed over and delivered to our customers, when we went and did the study, they're spending a lot of time in the outdoor balcony area, and their other balconies, the smaller balconies attached to the bedroom, are not being used much. So that is when we got an idea that, okay, there is a room to maximize the carpet area. Now, balcony definitely adds a lot of utility in the sense that, what is the key aspect of a balcony? One is, balcony brings in more lighting into your apartment, right? Second, naturally, more ventilation also, right? But the con side of that is your carpet area gets minimized. So when we actually started planning and brought in the concept of curtain wall, we could see that we could address the two pros and without losing on the con. That is, by giving a wall, removing the entire wall and putting a glass facade, you're maximizing the lighting. In fact, much more than what a balcony also brings in, because in this case, the entire wall is now a glass. So the lighting increased significantly, almost 30% more than what a balcony can bring in, right? Second thing was, naturally, a curtain wall, you can open the entire sliding door. So again, the ventilation, from a ventilation standpoint, you're achieving higher open areas as well, like higher ventilation areas, so more air can flow inside out of the unit without losing the carpet area. Now, naturally, because we could bring in these two, the balcony got moved into the bedroom, thereby maximizing the carpet area. So it was I would say, I would really thank our customers for pushing us in the direction. So curtain wall sort of, with one bullet, we got all the three birds, which is, we could increase the lighting, improve the ventilation, and maximize the carpet area as well. So this is what was one of the biggest advantage of the curtain wall. Definitely, apart from the most important thing, which is the aesthetics. The look is going to be stunning, right? So these are some of the views of how the curtain wall is going to look. In fact, this is a render from a Broadway project, right? So it looks like you're in any world-class building in Singapore or New York. So it's got a very international urban architecture perspective. Again, at the same time, you can see, because of the large amount of opening, the amount of lighting which is going to come into your room is going to be very, very high. And you can open the entire, that frame what you're seeing, which is like a sliding door, you can open it. And then some people even had doubts, what about the safety? We open it, will we fall down? No, there'll be a glass railing right outside. That will be a safety glass. So that will act as a safety glass so you don't, you don't fall off, right? So these were some of the big advantages of this entire curtain wall, right? So let me show you some of the renders. These are some of the renders from artistic impressions from, I think, one of the master bedroom. So you can see the simply, imagine somebody in their, higher floors, or like 20th or 30th floor, and how you're going to look down on the city, right? You're going to see the entire city spring up in front of you, right? And again, I just wanted to even show where all is this curtain wall coming at a unit plan level. So this is how the yellow line what you have mentioned, that is where the curtain wall is coming in each of the unit. In fact, in most of the units, it's coming in minimum of 2 bedrooms, right? So that really enhances. In some cases, it's coming in the kid bedroom, so that really enhances the light and ventilation in those places, right? So again, a small. So another important aspect which I wanted to sort of pull up, which we have improvised in Broadway. Again, coming from a product research and adding to the ventilation of the space as well, right? So a taller space, you're going to feel much more breezy. You're going to feel, much better aerated also, right? So we have improved the, the entire slab to slab height. Standard, most of our competition is giving 3000 mm as a standard height from floor to floor. In Broadway, we have increased by 300 mm. That's almost 10%. So the floor to ceiling height is 3300 mm. That is gross. So you can see slab to slab. Clear height is going to be 3050 mm. There's going to be a slab thickness of approximately 150 to 175 mm. and then another 75 to 100 of flooring and whatever mortar. And then you're going to have a clear height of close to 3050 So that's roughly around slightly about 10 feet, if I'm not wrong, right? Again, this also adds to the entire aspect of the space in your apartment. Right, and again, something, our key feature, what you can see, this has been our best seller, and it has, now that we have handed over projects which have outdoor living, we're getting great feedback from all our customers who are living there. And family come over, they all intrinsically gravitate towards the big balcony, the outdoor living, and they're really enjoying that space. So again, learning from our other projects, here the outdoor living is, I would say, 15% to 20% bigger than what we have given in previous projects. Again, with the advantage of curtain wall, what's happening is all the other balconies have been converted into the room, thereby maximizing the carpet. And naturally, because we could increase the carpet, here we could negotiate and we could increase the balcony size, outdoor living size, which is almost 15% bigger than all our previous projects. So it's really going to have like your own patio in the sky, right? That's how it's going to look like. This is one of the renders what we have done to give you a perspective of this entire thing, right? It's going to look very sleek and classy. So another key aspect, picking up from the earlier aspect of privacy, where we again sort of innovated on a new concept called dual sync spaces. So when we were talking to some of our customers, especially those who were, I would say, in the 40 plus age group, were mentioning that, okay, in the current house where they are staying, when the guests come over and then they are sitting in the drawing room, there is a clear visibility to living room, thereby the entire house has to sort of become more formal. So then we sat down with this problem and see, okay, what sort of solutions can we come up? And that's what we came up with, this idea called dual sync spaces, right? So this is what the dual sync space means. You can clearly see the drawing is totally made exclusive from the entire living and the dining aspect. So that you have a guest coming over, your family life will not be disturbed. It can move on seamlessly. Again, this is something which a lot of our customers have really appreciated, and we could do it in some of the floor plans. Again, in every floor plan it wouldn't be possible, but again, this is mainly, we saw that this requirement came in the slightly larger families and families who are more in the 40s. People probably in the 30s, they didn't really cite this as a requirement, but yeah. So we call this dual sync spaces, where you have a totally private drawing and a living space. So if you have any guests or anybody come over to your house, your family life need not get disturbed. Rest of the family need not get disturbed. So that's another key innovation what we have done in Broadway. Right, so this is again a sort of a small render on how that space is going to look like. Right, now let's get into the second aspect of the lifestyle grid. Right, the second aspect is practical luxury. As I've mentioned earlier, right, so most of our customers from a behavioral standpoint are double income households. So what happens in a double income household? Both the husband and the wife are working. So when both people are working, naturally there is a dearth of time, right? People have close to 40 to 50-hour work weeks, and then you got to manage a house, you're going to manage the entire, your daily utilities, grooming, and all of these sort of things. So again, we came up with this concept of practical luxury, where the idea was all the key day-to-day life utility services should be within 100 steps. Like within a minute, you should be able to go there. That's the idea, and that's what we call practical luxury. So let me delve into it, again coming from a customer research. So as I've mentioned earlier, right, 82% of our customers have mentioned that they're exposed to hybrid work, right? They're working, some of them are working actually, full-time work from home they are doing. Some of them are doing hybrid thing. In fact, a good number of customers, we have NRIs, right? So they were telling that when we come over, like some of them are still continuing their work in the US, or some of them when they come over here for a couple of months, they are still continuing their work, right? So again, so this has been something, a key bestseller again for us, is the entire concept of co-working space. So roughly we have given close to 9,780 square feet of plinth area in this co-working space, again split into 2 levels. Now where is this coming? This is coming in the Tower A ground floor. Again, learning from our past experience, in our previous research, we found out that whenever any amenity moves from the ground floor to the first floor, there is a drop of 83% in footfall, right? So we wanted to design the entire podium in such a way that all your most used amenities are just very close to you, that is within 100 steps, and also your entire podium becomes very active with people. So at the podium level, the society should be buzzing with social life, with people, like, with people talking to each other and fostering new relationships. When it comes to your tower level and your full floor level, privacy becomes very important. So that's how we design. At a tower level, privacy; at the podium level, it's all about social life and the community life. So coming with that concept, the entire co-working space is located, which is approximately 9,780 square feet. You can say close to 10,000 square feet. That's located in the Tower A ground floor. So you can just come down on, in any of the tower and just walk out. It'll be hardly 100 feet, 100 steps, right? Another interesting thing also what we could see is that most of the co-working spaces, now again, another thing also what we learned over a period of years is there's no point of giving specific use spaces. The problem with specific use spaces is after a certain point, it's not really used. Like for example, let's take the co-working space, right? In the co-working space, you have workstations and you have conference rooms, right? Like a discussion room sort of thing for you to attend your Zoom calls or things like that. Most of the places we saw that, okay, when we were doing research, people are using this majorly during the typical office hours. That is post 6 or things like that. It's generally idle. Most of them are idle. So we thought that, okay, instead of giving separate spaces for tuitions and all of this, what does tuitions also need? It's the same ecosystem, same infrastructure. They need a sort of a discussion table and similar infrastructure which is required in a discussion room of a co-working space. So we merged this. The discussion rooms of co-working space can be booked by people who want to attend their Zoom meetings and by kids who probably want to, put their tuitions also. Thereby you make the utilization of the space much better. So more the space gets utilized, lesser would be its cost of maintaining, and it will deliver more utility, right, to wide set of audience. So learning from that experience, so we made this into a little more multifunctional space. So kids who are studying also can sort of book a discussion room, like those mini conference rooms, sort what we call, and then they can put their tuitions and all those sort of things here. So again, this is located in Tower A ground floor. And again, a small part of it is located in the Tower A mezzanine. So you can see the internal staircase. You can get on that staircase and go to the higher floor. Of course, the discussion rooms and all the minor level furniture planning will improvise with period of time. But this is to give you a broad perspective of where that space is coming and what all functionality can be done there. We are merging co-working space with the kids' tuitions. So this like a stock image. Right. Another next important thing which our households are, I've mentioned again, the fact that this I think is also coming mainly from the aspect of both wife and husband working, is that people have said that they need a space where they could put their valuables. Because these days, when people are working Monday to Friday, let's say there's a party on the weekend and you have to go to the bank and bring your jewelry, right? There is no real time. I mean, you just go after coming back from office, people are tired, now you have to go to the bank. In fact, the branch might even be closed at that hours. So all of these small things add a big pain point to people's lives. So we thought we should give all these facilities should be given here. So we have provisioned space for lockers. We will be tying up with one of the major banks closer to the handover. So they will be setting up the entire infrastructure. Right, approximately 1,100 square feet, what you see. Where is this located? This is located in Tower B ground floor, right? Again, a very, very important, I would say, feature which our customers wanted, especially our women customers, mainly from the point of storing jewelry and even important documents also these days people are storing there. So this again, just a stock image. Next, another important thing is the entire aspect of grooming. Apart from your monthly grooming things, which people have to go on a monthly basis and get a haircut or a shave and done. Another thing what we have been seeing of lately is this entire aspect of when people get ready for marriages, especially marriages or any events, right? It could be a birthday party or anything. There is a lot of service requirement which people are calling from, especially again our women customers. require a lot of services around saree draping and that entire getting ready for the any of the event. So this spa and salon would be totally equipped to provide all those grooming and beauty services. It's approximately again 1750 square feet located in Tower B. So this is where it's right located behind the bank locker. And again, we are provisioning the space closer to the handover. We'll be tying up with a vendor, right? So whenever there's a party which you are hosting or a party which you are going to, you can simply, you don't have to really plan, go out, get ready somewhere and go. You can simply come here and get ready, or in case, most of the cases, these service providers even give the facility of sending the, their person to your home to probably help you in getting ready and all of that. Again, very, very small thing, but very, very important aspects. In fact, we take pride in designing these buildings for this nitty-gritty. This like, it's just like how any of your car or any of your phone and all, they have multiple features which makes your life easy. Imagine like living our life without most of this quick commerce or e-commerce apps. How much difficult would it be? So same way, I think the building as a product should deliver on multiple features. So I would see them more than amenity. I would like to use the word of features. Right, this is again just a stock image. And then again, our day-to-day utilities, this has been the most important thing, supermarket. Here also we have seen that when supermarkets are right on the ground floor, people are more incentivized to move out, come to the shop and buy, rather than probably buying from their home, which also I think the service provider does. But yeah, again, you can simply come down. It can be a quick 100-step activity, and you just in 2 minutes you can reach out, buy whatever thing you need, and you can go back and continue what we're doing. Again, approximately 1430 square feet, located on the ground floor of Tower B. Again, a stock image of that. Another very, very important aspect is the entire concept of medical office and physiotherapy. So when we were doing product research, again, when we're talking with our customers, they were telling that, when our kids get sick, and some of the customers who are more in the senior, who are more like around 45 plus, they were telling that our parents stay with us. And most of the, when we dwelled into that aspect of information, most of the parents have some sort of physiotherapy needs, is what we realized, right? And because they don't really, that service is not available conveniently, people don't really end up using that, end up doing their necessary physiotherapy activities, which is sort of degrading, like, causing a strain on their physical well-being. So we have realized that, and also a lot of our customers who are like a primary customer, the apartment owner, they have also mentioned that these days a lot of people are playing this pickleball and paddle court, these sort of things, and they mentioned a lot of injuries and all, for which minor things, for which there is a constant physiotherapy need. So again, so that's what came up. So we have given a dedicated close to 1600 square feet of space in the Tower C mezzanine level, right, where a clinic and a physiotherapy studio can be set up. We are giving the space. Again, closer to the handover, we will be setting up with the service provider. So physiotherapy, in fact, I feel is super duper important. It's something which is a must. So, but yeah, so we could cater space for that. So that again, if there's a child who has like a general, general viral or general sickness, or nothing important like your basic, medicine related thing can all happen from here, and there'll be service providers helping you with that. So this also we found out that a very, very important aspect of modern new lifestyle, and this requirement has become very, very mandatory now. Again, a small stock image. So next, let's go to the third aspect. So we have completed the practical luxury, the second, which is more about convenience in our day-to-day life. And the third important aspect, what we took into consideration, was the social life. Again, what we could see, one break, change in behavior from the past. Probably I'm a millennial. Most of, when I see the way how my parents and they had their social life versus how we millennials are having our social life, we have friends come over more frequently. Rather than having one large party, we are having frequent small parties, right? Which could be as simple as IPL match day, or any of those sports events which happen. So we saw that these days people are meeting instead of in large group, smaller groups, but more frequently, probably more around the weekends and long weekends type. So we thought, okay, even the social life aspect is also a very, very important parameter, and we need to have various features designed to deliver on these parameters, right? So the big and the most important thing, I love calling it the big living room. So we have 4 such rooms. All 4 put together is around 3,078 square feet. So the idea of this was sort of interesting. When we asked some of our customers, they told that, okay, see, we host, and that particular audience group was senior women who were more in the age group of 55-60. They were telling that, see, we have frequent kitty parties in the community, right? And then we went and asked, okay, what do you do in kitty parties? And in fact, when a couple of kitty parties were happening, our research team themselves went, and we could see that, okay, there were around 14 to 15 people who gathered in the house. And if you actually see, the house is not built for 14, 15 people gathering in the house. Of course, people can fit in the house, but it's not designed for that, right? By that, what I mean is, when we saw it, okay, people were divided into groups, and one group was sitting in a bedroom, one group was sitting in a living room, one group was sitting in a the drawing room. Thereby, it led to the breakage of the groups, which led to the naturally a less fun, I would say. And next, we could see that different ladies sort of did their cooking, and it was like a potluck. So we were like, okay, really people, and then when we even spoke with, I would say the 35-ish men audience group also, they were also telling, a good number of people told that we do cooking as a hobby. That was very interesting and a good sign, I would say. So that also we wanted to cater. So we realized that a lot of the current social life revolves around cooking and potlucking. So then we thought, okay, can we give a big kitchen where instead of 1, 2 or 3 people can cook, and that entire aspect of cooking also translates into that, the fun of spending time with each other. So that's how the concept of the big living room came. Essentially, in your living room, which is designed mainly for the family, right? So can roughly 4 families. That's how we sort of envision. This space can, each of the living room can hold close to, I would say 10 to 15 people. So around 3 to 4 families, right? So where they can come, cook together, and have their food together, and it's there'll be a big sized TV screen which we'll be setting up, so they can watch their game of their interest and all, and without the pain point of again cleaning that entire thing up. If the same party happens in your house, again after everybody leaves, you have to clean it up. So here this is all service space. So again it will be pay on demand. So the housekeeping staff would be cleaning it. Another important thing which this also solves for, in some of the communities, what we have seen is the guest rooms, which are essentially for guest stay, have been used as party rooms. One, that is not right to do. But what we have seen is, and because it's used as a party room, people spoil the entire linen there, and there's alcohol and food all across. So of course that was not the intention of the space. But what we could learn from that is, okay, these days people need these getaway spaces where they can have sort of a fun time with their friends. So that's how the concept of living room came. So now, without spoiling the guest room, people can use this space, and it's a purpose-built space. This space you can cook, and you can even you can watch a game night, you can watch an IPL match, or play cards, poker, whatever. So again, something very, very important what we have realized in this day and age, people are sort of socializing this way, smaller groups but more frequent. So most of us have friends over the weekend. So that's how frequent it has become. Unlike in the past where it used to be less frequent but bigger groups, now it's smaller group, more frequent. So people can book this space using the app and use this. Something we found it could greatly enhance the lifestyle of our community members. Next, another thing what we have seen, as I've mentioned in the beginning, right? Close to 64% of our audience group in this project are people who have 0 to 7 year age group. So one of the key features of the 0 to 7 year age group, when we were further talking about their kid aspect, is that the entire concept of birthday celebration, right? If you actually see the first birthday or the third birthday is what most people are told that we typically have a larger gathering of maybe 150 to 300 people. But the rest of the birthdays, right, it's typically small gathering. Most of the cases, it's just the kids' school friends or the colony or the community friends who come over. So it's just frankly like a 30 to 40 member gathering. So now why should we, and generally this kid's birthday is something which is the most commonly used party situation. So, and what in some cases, the big party hall, or I would say the multi-purpose hall, has some other event, then the kid's birthday party cannot be celebrated. And frankly, it's a very small, typically the number of people who come here are around 25 to 30 people, mostly kids. So we thought that, okay, given that this community has many kids in the 0 to 7 year age group, what we have seen is again post 7, typically these birthdays come down, and after once kids have reached teen, parents have told that they typically celebrate with their friends, they go out to a mall or something. So given that there's a huge, significant number of kids in the 0 to 7, so we gave a dedicated separate kids birthday party area, approximately 664 square feet, located in Tower Sika ground floor. And this is again strategically located right outside your outdoor play area. So when we actually went to these kids birthday parties I've seen, we realized that most of the time kids spend playing, right? And in the last half hour or something, they cut the cake and have the snacks and then they leave. So it's strategically located in between the indoor play area or indoor play zone and the outdoor play area, so that kids can run around and have their fun. Right, so again, a simple stock image. And next, another important thing, guest room. What came up in our research is our customers have told that, a good number of them are people, where their parents are not staying in Hyderabad, right? Most of the customers have told that, audience have told that their parents stay in the villages, or more so even in case, even if it's not their parents, it's their any relatives who are coming over. Especially this requirement came from our clients who are more from the outside Hyderabad, right? North Indian or Central Indian sort of people who are not from Hyderabad. So they have mentioned that they have friends or relatives who come over to the city and they show them around, when festivals are there and things like that. So again, guest rooms is something, in this we have come up with a good ratio. So we have 9 guest bedrooms, so availability will be much, much higher. Again, this is also spread in 2 levels, the ground floor of Tower B and the mezzanine. This is a ground floor plan, this is a mezzanine plan. Again, all of them are located on the podium level itself. So that even for your guest also, they need not really know the map of Clubhouse, which floor, which corner I need to go. You just come down, you're going to find it. So it sort of is very intuitive planning, I would say. Right, and next, located in the clubhouse, we have a giant banquet hall with a pre-function area and sort of a pre-party kitchen. You can't cook there. It's not allowed from a safety standpoint, but you can do preheating and plating, essentially plating aspect. So this comes in the clubhouse. So here you can host bigger parties and you can have your guests come over. Right, and again, another very important and interesting thing, something which is my favorite in this project, apart from the big living room, is a curbside cafe. This I was inspired when I did extensive travels to Singapore over the last 2 years when I started learning more around product design. And what I've seen is, and even New York also, I've not been to London much, but one thing which I saw, which usually sort of improved the quality of life in these big cities, was the entire curbside experience. Right, you have curbside cafes, restaurants, so you have a lot of people moving in and out. So the entire vibe gets really, really super cool, right? So this idea was inspired from my travels to those places, and we have given provision for 2 F&B spaces with their respective kitchens. One's closer to handover. We'll float it out so different vendors can come and take it. So this is a curbside cafe. So people are expected to walk to this place from the nearby neighborhood. And again, this is the access, even outsiders can use this space, which I felt was very, very important, because when we came up with the concept of cafes and F&B, and frankly, even F&B usually premiumizes your space also. It improves the property value of the area and even the quality of life for residents. Imagine you're not cooking that day. You just want to go down, grab something. So you can come here, right? So, but the con of this when we were seeing is in most of the communities where they're given F&B spaces, all of them shut shop. When we went and spoken to various the facility people there, they told that kuch bhi nahi chalta hai, after 6 months everybody shut shop. So when we went into the reason of why, basically the problem was store in store. Matlab, they were only allowed to sell to the residents. And how many residents you will have? Like 80-85 families. How will the business run if there are only 80-85 customers, right? It won't run. So that's why we have planned in such a way that outsiders can also come and use, and even the residents can come and use. And even the entire security arrangement and everything also have been done by taking this constraint in mind. But this is greatly going to enhance the entire street life of that road, not just Broadway project. Right? There are a lot of apartments coming up in that road, right? So everybody can just come down, grab a coffee, and then there's co-working space. Imagine somebody working out of that wanted to discuss some idea with his friend or colleague, and he can just take this idea in the space, in this cafe here. Because again, we have seen that a lot of co-working spaces thrive when there's a cafe environment in the vicinity. So, again, the key thing what we took in mind is that each space should really benefit the other space. It's not like isolatedly giving spaces, right? So that was one key thing which we came up in our research. So how do we make sure the space gets used? It's not just, see, as a builder, we just design the space, we hand over and go. And if it doesn't get used, it's not really going to enhance the life of our customers, right? So we are, in our research thinking about how can that ecosystem thrive. In fact, most co-working spaces thrive when there's coffee in the vicinity, and most coffee shops thrive when there are, co-working spaces in the vicinity where upcoming entrepreneurs or people simply working from their home come grab a coffee, or they meet somebody here. So it's a sort of this is what the new trend has been coming up. So again, very, very important aspect of the social life, the curbside cafe. So some of the stock images of how it looks, and all major cities in the world, this greatly enhances city life. So in fact, this would enhance the life in that entire road, I would say, that in front, the Broadway 100 feet road, because there's loft coming up there, there's opposite projects. So everybody can simply walk. They don't even need to remove your car. I'm a big fan of walking neighborhoods. So to have a walkable neighborhood, first you need to have footpath. Second, you need to have activities or spaces where you can do activities. And restaurants are very, very important. It adds to the entire buzzing life and vibe of the street. Right, so there's just some of the stock images to give you an understanding. Next, the next important aspect has been the fitness zone, right? So again, something very, very important these days, if you see, the entire aspect of fitness and wellness both is no longer sort of a luxury. It's now become the comfort. I mean, it's now become the more mandatory item. It's no longer a sort of a wish list. Today it's mandatory. With the sort of, again, if you look earlier in the audience research, what we have published, majority of our customers are tech workers. And when they are tech workers, there's a lot of sitting, and now they say, right, sitting is the new smoking. It's not really advisable at all. So the entire aspect of your fitness and well-being, a physical well-being, is something very important. So we really want to spice up this entire thing, not just keep the monotony. So we broke down this entire fitness and wellness into two divisions. One is the aspect of sports, because what we do, we did realize, and we all also understand, playing sport is also is one of the best way to stay fit. And many people love playing sport because rather than doing your typical gym activity. So we categorize the entire fitness zones into two sections. One is your sports section, other is your more, I would say, your workout section, or your indoor, I would say, your typical gymming, right? So in the sports amenities, something which is these days quite in rage, and you see a lot of people, it's a running trend, is this entire pickleball courts, right, which are popping up everywhere in different neighborhoods, and people are blocking them and going and all of that. So we are giving 2 pickleball courts in the community, so people can again come down, book and play. And also when I did research on pickleball, we found out that a lot of people were having minor injuries. That was also one of the triggers to have the physiotherapy studio on facility, right? So in case, God forbid, if you have some injury, there's a physiotherapy place right there. You can sort of heal yourself in maybe 10-20 days and again start playing. right? So pickleball courts we have. And then we have 3 indoor air-conditioned badminton courts located in the clubhouse. So again, badminton is also, as a lot of people locally here are big fans and many people play badminton. So it's indoor air-conditioned badminton courts located in the clubhouse, right? Next, we have cricket nets. A lot of our younger children, and especially those who are 7+, they have asked for this. And another interesting thing also, what I was saying is, when we spoke with customers who are 50+, good number of them have told that we played cricket when we were small, and then we left it for last 20-25 years. Now we want to get back to it, probably put a coach and learn something. So we're giving 2 cricket nets things also, cricket nets space. And then 1 full-fledged basketball court we are giving, something very used by our teen and preteen kids. This comes on the podium. This is one of the render of that space. Yeah. Next, you have the fitness zone. So this is more like a indoor workouts, right? Which, or what you might call typically your gym sort of things. So the gym in this is close to it. Again, it comes in Tower Seeker ground floor. See, very, very important for me personally is that we put all the spaces in the ground floor. That's been something very, very vital to my design language over the last, I would say, 2 years, right? Because there is a 81% drop in footfall. Research says that there's 81% drop in footfall the minute the space moves from ground floor to first, second, third, any floor. So we want people to use this, and we want the entire podium level to be buzzing with people and having a great vibe, a community vibe. So again, this is located in Tower Seeker ground floor. You can just wear your shoes and come in 100 steps, you'll reach this place. So close to 10,000 square feet, making it one of the largest gym in the in its category, right? It's in the ground floor, and this is again in the mezzanine level. Both are in Tower C. Stock image of gyms. And then again, something which we see mainly our senior age group, audience age group do, outdoor gym. We have seen this people to be using a lot, just as basic stretches and something. So there is an outdoor gym mentioned right outside the indoor gym, again on the podium, right? And then even swimming is also a very, very important, I would say, sporting and even recreational activity. In fact, a lot of, when we were speaking with the physiotherapy consultant during the research phase, there was a lot of water-based exercise also which people were recommended to heal themselves. But nevertheless, we have a separate kids pool, approximately those are the sizes, and a giant adult pool which 33 by close to 102 feet. It's located in the clubhouse. Right? This is a small render. Then again, multi-purpose, multi-sports turf, something picking up, you see a lot of, turf grounds, they say, right, these days. A lot of turf grounds which are there in the city, which people book and go play with their friends. So we have provided one giant turf ground on top of the clubhouse, where you can play box cricket, and sort of you can even play a mini sort of a football, right? Where again, this is mainly designed with the perspective of having multiplayer sports, right? Where at least it can engage close to 10 people, 10 to 12 people. So that's located on top of the clubhouse. So you can see the entire design has taken care both from the aspect of sporting and from indoor workouts, so that you don't get bored. It could be that you might even be preparing for some game and you're using the gym to get better at that. Or a good number of people, like I know a lot of my friends who don't do any gymming and all, who simply love playing sport, and they play sport to remain healthy. So we have taken all that into care.